true that, you know, a lot of what is happening is politically being manipulated. What exactly is, you know, taking us so long in either fishing out the masterminds of this or naming them? I mean, even the governor of Imo State seems at a loss as to why, you know, the security operatives, whom maybe he believes they know them, will not want to name those who are behind the insecurity that we all feel.
Well, let me first of all respond to my senior brother about, you know, when he said this government is the most corrupt in this country. You see, that's the beauty of democracy. My senior brother will be talking about this government of Muhammadu Buhari that he knows that is the most corrupt. It's totally unfair and it's not correct. You know, I am not telling you there is no corruption in this country, but as at today, nobody can discuss corruption on the table. Nobody. Back in the days, corruption was discussed on the table, monies are shared, things are done, you know, in the open, you know. But as a people, the reflection of what we are, so that's what's happening. So that's about corruption. Then about whether the government is incompetent, it should resign. My senior brother should know that it is not done like that in democracy. And he believes in the rule of law. I want to believe. He knows that we won the election because those that lost, including him, went to court and the court gave judgment. It's the only court we have now. So whatever we are going to say, look, we have to be guided by what we have. Now, whether politicians are fanning the embers of this crisis, yes, in some parts of the country, there are political undertones. Whether during Jonathan or PDP, when they say politicians, yes, it's true. Even back when we were in opposition, there are certain comments that we make, so the ruling party could perceive it as, you know, bring about crisis. But the difference is that, look, now we have the secessionists coming out in the open, maiming, killing, burning, looting all over the place in this country. We've seen it. We've seen it happen. We've seen where some warlords will come out and make some expressions that will not mean well. And no responsible government, all because of democracy. People are not being attacked by the security agencies, at least to show them that you're not supposed to do this. So as a people, if we politicians think that, look, if we bring down the government of Hope Uzodinma by burning his house or by killing policemen, in this country, we see how police stations are razed. We see how military people then are killed. And anybody will sit here and tell me that that is correct? And so if we as politicians think this is right, by the time the government turns against these kind of elements, they should have themselves to blame. Because no responsible government will sit by and watch police stations being burnt. And this happens virtually every day in the southeastern part of this country. And these are kind of things there's a comfort to us. It's more of political. Now the politics is turning into, in some parts of the country, trying to see it as ethnicity or religion. Instead of us as a people to look and say, look, when do we start discussing about governance? When do we start discussing about feeding, about security, things that will unite us? Not when we start talking about where you come from. Because look, I mean, as at today, Buhari being a Muslim president, are the Muslims doing better than the Christians in this country? No. So which means it's not about religion, it's not about tribe, it's not about ethnicity. It's about us as a people. But if some politicians see it that, look, we have to bring this government down by fanning the embers of hate and what have you, you know, we are just doing it unto ourselves. And God will not allow it to happen. And this government is responsive. This government is there to deal with such characters. And you will see, as I tell you, you will see what will happen in this country between today and the next 1 week. And I hope you will invite me a week after today, and you will probably be talking about these things.
Well, Honorable Farouk, well, the thing is, I mean, we don't know if we get that impression, but if there is anyone, the law is the law. So if there's anyone who is found, you know, burying or tossing AK-47 or 49, burning or killing police officers or police stations, the law is the law. Such people should definitely face the law. So point blank, that no sentiments or emotions about all of that. But speaking about politicians, one wonders, because when you say politicians are some of the people responsible for some of what is going on, but there are some other issues that are out there. I mean, can we blame politicians? Is it politicians that are responsible for the unemployment rate, which is about 33.3% in Q4 of 2020? Is it politicians that are responsible for inflation rate at 17%? Is it politicians responsible for the poverty rate, which is about 42.5%, and say 105 million Nigerians are extremely poor, according to the World Poverty Clock in 2020. In fact, he goes on to say that Nigeria currently has the largest number of poor people in sub-Saharan Africa. Those are factors that will be cannon fodder for young people to become pliable.
Yeah, I mean, we as a government don't hold politicians responsible for that. But then also there are certain indices that definitely is not caused by this government. The whole world is in a crisis. The whole world is in an economic crisis. This COVID of a thing that came, this country, we went into recession 2-3 times. It's true, and then every country in this world is going through the same kind of thing we're going through. Yes, but the difference between other claims and ours is cooperation, some certain cooperation by citizens. This also is the government that has done more palliatives to the people of this country than any other government. Whether that does not translate to us getting out of poverty line, that I don't know. But I can assure you that, look, there are also significant amounts of people in this country that their lives are better than what it used to be. It's true, yes, we're in the crisis situation. You know, this COVID of a thing, the whole world was shut. And Nigeria is not an island. So we also are part of the global crisis because we are in it together. So, but this government has done everything possible. We still have not gone into food crisis. Yes, food could be expensive, but at least it's available, you know. So with the COVID, this government still tried to ensure that there is food around in the country. So please, I want us, as I said, as a people, to keep cooperating with the government, whichever government. Because let's not see it as an APC affair. It is collectively our affair as a nation. And we don't see anything wrong in the opposition saying, we have done this, we have not done that. We were in the opposition. There are certain things we did while we were in the opposition. Now we know better. Let me just give you an example. Like the fuel subsidy that we fought against when we were in opposition. Now when we came into government, we know better than, look, yes, this subsidy has to go. That's the truth. Now, so these are the kind of things that probably some things, if you're in opposition, you wouldn't know. But when you come into power, some things will stare you in the face, and you have to take certain decisions that you have to shift grounds from what you earlier held on.
Well, you know, out of the 5 times the country got into recession, 3 of them have been in this particular government. But then when you say we'll call you back in 1 week, is that to say that in that 1 week or before that time, the students who were kidnapped, the Kaduna School of Forestry students, the Greenfield students, and then Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, will they all have been rescued among several things before we call you back in 1 week?
Well, I'm not telling you that they will be rescued, you know, within the next 1 week. But there will be significant improvement in the security situation in this country. Because I know, I have privy knowledge of things that are happening as from last night. Within the next 1 week, by the grace of God, things will... And look, you see, kidnapped people are not just from these schools. There are so many people kidnapped all over the place. And whenever there are successes, we don't get to hear about it. But of course, as a government, we take responsibility. That's okay. That's fine, because we are in government, so whatever happens, whether even if you fight with your wife, you will say it's the fault of Buhari or the fault of APC. That's okay. It's part of the burden we have to carry on with us leading this country.
But just one quick thing here. I mean, you've said a number of things that I just wanted to get clarity on. So when you said earlier that while you were in government, you made some comments that, while you were in opposition, you made some comments that you didn't know, but now you know better. Why then should the people trust your government if then you said something and now you are asking people to trust the government? Why should the people trust this government when the government was making comments based on inadequate information?
The difference is in sincerity of purpose. The difference is in explanation. When we fought against fuel subsidy, we knew how people were taking the money, stealing the money in government at that time. Now we explain to the people that, look, when you bring in this, when you give this subsidy, most our borders are porous. So we as a country subsidize fuel in Benin Republic, in Cameroon, in Chad, in Niger, as far as Togo. Now we know better. I'm confessing that now we know better. So these are the kind of things. And look, that is the truth, coming out to tell the truth. We demonstrated in this country against fuel increase. Now we are in the vanguard of increasing the fuel, because we know that, look, this subsidy has to go someday. And it is going to go, certainly, because that's one of the ways that government will get more money.
Well, I don't know. We're seeing some feedback here from some of our viewers. If you check on our Twitter handle there, someone wants us to ask Honorable Member what the government is doing in the areas where Boko Haram are burning military posts, carting away arms and ammunition, killing our soldiers and civilians, including the policemen. I don't know. You have said we should have 1 week, but do you want to quickly say something to what is being done when military men themselves are coming under attack?
Well, you see, in war, from what elementary we know, there are certain things that happen, like, surprise, when the Boko Haram bandits will come and, surprise the military and do this thing. But if you know the number of casualties the military inflict on these Boko Haram, you probably wouldn't be saying, well, yes, we've done something. I assure you, for every military man killed, probably 10, 20, 100 Boko Haram members are killed. These things are there. So that's the truth. And then look, our members of the armed forces know exactly, they knew when they were joining the military that, look, they have sacrificed their lives for you and I to live. And in that duty, if one or two or several of them lose their lives, that's in all cause of the duty. But then what is the government doing to ensure that that does not happen? The military are the ones to come up with and I am sure the military will not put themselves in harm's way. And then when you are fighting war, as I said, there are bound to be casualties, there are bound to be mistakes here and there. And I'm sure the military are doing something. As I said, I assure you 1 week from today, you will see things that will happen in this country in better stead about the security of this country.
Well, sir, 1 week is what he has given. Do you think that we can wait 1 week, or do you think it's sufficient time?
No, you see, both of you and Chamberlain are misinterpreting the 1 week Honorable Farouk is talking about.
Okay.
Yes, it may not be what you think. It may be what will happen to certain individuals in this country or certain sections of this country. So we should be alert over what he has said, because as an insider person in government and somebody who is being given some security information as to what the military or the security forces will do, we wouldn't know whether some of us will be here after 1 week.
Why do you think we should have such a fear?
Because we don't know. It's ignorance. We don't know what will happen.
Indeed, we don't know what will happen, but I guess, I don't know, what I could extrapolate from what she's trying to say is that, there will be some calm returning to the country, especially with all the security challenges.
So. Calm did not return in 12 years. It's going to be done in 2 weeks. It's only maybe they are picking you or me or some other persons on framed up charges.
Why do you have such a fear?
I'm a human being. The first law of nature is self-preservation.
If you know, I mean, if we haven't done anything wrong, should we be afraid?
Does government need to wait whether you've done anything wrong or right if they are against you or for you, to reward you or to punish you?
How does punishing anyone, I mean, bring peace to a country?
Maybe you are not in this country.
I'm just asking. I mean, that's my job. I ask questions.
Maybe you are not in this country. Our praise is that he is talking on the positive side of it. But I tend to believe that it is more than what he has said because of the privilege of information into security situations in this country as a member of government. We are not. We are bystanders. And all that we comment on is what we see physically before us.
Well, sir, we have to thank you very much for coming. I wish I could quickly flip this to Honorable Farouk, you know, just for some clarification, you know, in maybe 30 seconds.
Exactly.
But we have to thank you very much for coming
Yes,
to Sunrise Daily this
please.
morning. Alhaji Buba Galadima is a former spokesperson at Atiku Campaign Organization. He's also a farmer and a politician. Well, gentlemen in Lagos.
Indeed, but pardon me, Honorable Farouk, if you could make this quick, is what he's suggesting going to happen? Did we misinterpret you?
Yeah, because I just wanted to say, I mean, I don't know what my senior brother is afraid of. We are not after anybody. And yes, I'm a very, very proud person as an insider of this government. But I assure him that we're not going to go after him. We're not going to go after anybody that is not a criminal. And I don't think my senior brother is a criminal. But if he becomes one, we'll go after him.
All right, then, Honorable Farouk, APC Chieftain, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. We will be back in a moment. Join us again.
The Platform, 1st of May 2021, 9 a.m. Theme is Devolution of Powers, the solution to Nigeria's problem. Venue, the Covenant Place, Igomu, Lagos, right next to the National Theatre. This event will be beamed live on national television and globally via the internet. Admission into this event is by registration only. Registration details will be announced on the 19th of April 2021. The Platform is powered by the Covenant Nation.
Malaria does not care where you live. So if malaria invades your body, defend yourself with Givita Plus tablets, ACT brand of anti-malaria.
Givita Plus tablets containing Artemether and Lumefantrine come in flexible dosage options for adults and children. Givita Plus tablets from Sea Green Pharmaceuticals, proudly recommended to roll back malaria anywhere, anytime. Available in pharmacies near you.
It's a new dawn in broadcasting as Lagos transits from analog to digital.
So we are glad that I think we are averagely confident that Lagos, we are ready to take on Lagos.
The launch is on April 29, 2021 under the watch of the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC. Now, here's what you need to know about the digital switchover. All you require is the free TV set-top box and an antenna. The aim is to get connected. Connect the antenna to the set-top box, then connect the set-top box to your TV with the HDMI cable or a 3-colored composite TV cable, depending on your TV type or model. Next, select HDMI or AV as the source. Then use the set-top box remote control to scan and control the TV channels. Of course, power source and cross-check your other connections and you're good to go. Lagos, get ready for this digital revolution as we bid goodbye to analog broadcast and welcome the digital format in the state.
All right, welcome back to the program. Continuing, our focus on the state of the policy development in different parts of the country. Well, this morning we're just going to be getting an update from Mr. Sunny Friday, who is a parent of some of the students of the School of Forestry in Kaduna. He'll be joining us via Zoom this morning, and then we will